Okay, so it's technically 6:01, so we are going to start. Hello, Councilwoman Ellis and Steve Corellis. This is the virtual public information center meeting for the Snyder Ave sidewalk project. Oops, hold on, we got another one. I'm gonna see. Hello, everybody. This is the Public Information Center, Virtual Public Information Center for the Snyder Ave Sidewalk Project. This project is being at least partially funded with federal grant money. So these types of public meetings, separate and apart from a regular township council or other governing body meeting, is a requirement of the federal grant. My name is Liza Viana. I am the township administrator, and also on is Michael Gormley. He is one of our engineers from Neglia, working on this project. I am also the what's called the responsible charge for the township. So for any federal grants, the township has to designate a full-time employee to go through essentially a Rutgers course, DOT certified Rutgers course, to essentially make sure we are aware of the obligations, responsibilities, and expectations of a township when they receive federal grant money and all the requirements that go into it. There are quite a few different grant requirements and um, stipulations you have to meet for federal grant money, which differentiates those programs from state or county money. So they want to make sure that there's, at least one person full-time in every town, in every municipality that is trained on these expectations. Although by this point, Michael is also a pro. So what this meeting is going to entail, I'm going to turn it over to Michael, who will also share his screen. He is going to go over, give a brief overview of the project and then some more details about the design and what we're hoping to accomplish. As you may or may not know, this is a Safe Routes to School grant that we got a few years ago. Part of the township's endeavor to really connect between Safe Routes to School and Safe Routes to Transit grant, extend our existing sidewalk network between and among many of our schools to places like the downtown area so children can get to and from safely, or so to get them to their neighborhoods. If a lot of them are walking to certain neighborhoods from schools, we want to extend those sidewalk networks to get them there safely. And also correlates with our Safe Routes to Transit grant a little bit, where that's a different program, that's a state program, but it is part of our overall strategy for creating a more walkable downtown and the near vicinities area to get people to and from so they don't have to drive as much or they can walk and bike more safely. So with that, I will turn it over to Mike. And just so you know, for format, we are recording. We do have to record this for the DOT. If you do have any questions, we also have to submit those to the DOT as well. So if you don't mind, when Mike is done with his presentation and you do have a question, if you could, similar to a council meeting, say your name and address for the record. We just have to submit all those to the DOT as well. So with that, I will turn it over to Mike.
Thank you, Liza. So let me keep my screen sharing. Okay. So, oh boy. Sorry, one second. Not. Okay, so kind of as Liza said, I'm Michael Gormley. I work with Negro Group. We were brought in by the town to help kind of facilitate design and get the project out to bid. This project being the Walking is Fun, Snyder Avenue, Safe Routes from Woodruff to Hughes School project, which was, as kind of Liza said, funded by DOT Safe Routes to Schools grant program. Here's kind of a quick overview map. It's a little hard to see, so I apologize, but if you can kind of make out in this area, if you can see my cursor, the yellow is the project limits, which go from Locust to Pine Grove along Center Avenue. There'll be sidewalks along the Hughes Elementary School frontage. Additionally, there'll be a asphalt walkway connecting Hughes School. Existing walkway will be resurfacing it, making it ADA compliant. Behind through the woods over to Oak Canyon Road. Additionally, I just to point out stuff. So, few landmarks: Hughes Elementary School, Center Avenue Parks up here. William Woodruff Elementary School is kind of up here, and then Berkeley Heights downtown district. Uh, Grant funding, so the township was able to procure about 517,000 in funding from DOT under the Safe Routes to School program. This has kind of been a part of an initiative the township has really done in the past couple of years to get as much money as they can to help, pretty much for the betterment of all the residents. When we kind of went through the design, a couple things that really came up to light that we wanted to focus on was one, really the need of the community and the desire of the community for the health and the betterment of children by promoting walking and bicycling to school. Currently, there's lack of sidewalks, especially along the frontage of Snyder Avenue, along Hughes School, incomplete, which equates to incomplete and walking/pedestrian network. Additionally, the existing sidewalks that are there within there, concrete and asphalt, a lot of tripping hazards, uneven cracked areas. We really want to clean that up. Additionally, signage, crosswalk striping, ADA curb ramps, they're not really up to standards for the state or federal side. Additionally, Snyder Avenue is just a busy road. Fortunately, there's some high automotive speeds. So a couple of things we really wanted to address.
If I can hop in there for one
Yeah.
second, Mike. So so kids, for example, coming from the timber area, they're walking down Locust if they don't go through some path, if they live on the timber area. They're walking down Locust. They have to cross Snyder when they're at the rescue squad to get to the sidewalk on the opposite side of Snyder to go up toward Hughes. And then when they get across from Hughes, they have to cross again to cross into the school because there's no sidewalk on the Hughes School side of Snyder. So that was the biggest need right there. Sorry, go ahead.
You're all good. Thanks for butting in. Kind of with all these to consider, we already settled on a project scope. Mainly, number one, we wanted to connect the walking network, extend it up center to the school, kind of to help alleviate some of these issues of people crossing center twice, kids crossing center twice just to get to the school. Additionally, we wanted to make sure that we resurface the asphalt pathway in the back that kids take from Old Cannon Road to the school. It's just not really in this shape right now. We also want to make sure we're upgrading and implementing ADA compliant curb ramps, pavement striping, signage, just be in compliance with federal and state standards, MUTCD, NJDOT, DOJ, ADA requirements, so on and so forth. Additionally, we wanted to make sure that we improve crosswalk visibility and design, install curb extensions, and we also will be implementing some retaining walls where necessary along the frontage of Hughes School, just to minimize excessive slopes in the area. All in all, we anticipate a estimated construction cost of $550,000, which is a little more than the $517,000 grant that we received. Benefits of the project: number one, creation of a safer, pressure environment, limit the amount of times kids are crossing Center Avenue, making sure that everything's kind of properly signed, striped, and it's compliant for all, even people with disabilities. Really encourage kids. With that being said, this way we would encourage more kids to walk to school. But even more than that, as a secondary benefit, it also connects the schools to the school to the other. It completes the walking pathways to other facilities such as like Snyder Park and the townships downtown. Also, just increases children's health and physical activity levels. exercise, through biking, through walking, promote alternate means transportation to reduce vehicle pollution, and also just reinforcement of the township's complete streets policy, which is definitely a very important thing that the township's been looking to better the past couple of years. So again, kind of the site location map from page 2, just as I kind of said, looking to implement concrete sidewalk along Snyder Avenue's frontage, asphalt walkway in the back, upgrading of ADA ramps where they fall within projects, crosswalk visibilities, so on and so forth. And a quick timeline for the project. We really started design back in December 2024. Kind of worked beginning of the 2025 finalizing the design. We submitted the construction documents back in May to the state, and contingent on NJ DOT approval, we'll hopefully be issuing the bid in the near future and anticipate a spring 2026 start date. So, that being said, I guess, is there any questions anyone may have about the project, or anything they would like to talk about?
Could you go back one slide?
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, that's not new information given the announcement for this meeting. Thank you.
Because I have all that information updated on the website for you, Steve.
Yep, it's yeah, it came in the notice.
Good, good,
Just
good.
making sure because well, let's see. I'll do some official comments with the Steve Corellis, 35 Sycamore Avenue.
Thank you.
I am actually that address is connected to Pine Grove, and we use that stretch, my wife and I, to get to the school for exercise, to get downtown. So we go through all the maneuvers to use the sidewalks, and we know about the shape, and especially that through the woods. Not only is that a need help, and we try to help it along every now and then with picking up tree branches that get in the way. But the once you get to Old Cannon, that's really a problem with the concrete sidewalk that gets you out from the easement out to actual Old Cannon itself. So that'll be a delight not to have to use the property owner's grass to get that done. And of course, all the cutouts. Yes, because my wife uses an electric scooter when we're doing all our walking on these facilities. And it's I guess the sooner the better. Unfortunately, I see it since DOT gets to hear this, it's we could have had this in a little sooner if the DOT could have acted a little bit faster, but we're glad you're uh get the approval so we can get building. And I will leave it at that.
Thank you. We also did notice when the school district did the redistricting for full day kindergarten, the walking patterns of kids changed a little bit. So we thought that there would be, there was more kids that seemed to be walking to school then from up off of Mountain. So that also added urgency, if you will, to make sure that that path was more sufficient and safer than what it is now.
And it's fortunate too, it's in addition to that path, I mean, they can go through our neighborhood, which is, pretty safe in terms of the amount of traffic at any given time, also to get to Snyder, and get on because basically, like the presentation said, the sidewalk starts at Pine Grove.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. This is an open Q&A, so if anybody else has any questions, please you don't have to raise your hand or anything since there's only a couple of you on. Feel free to if you can leave your video on or off, whichever you'd like, but just feel free to chime in with any questions. The plans for this also are on our website. It's at Berkeley Heights and if you go under the top navigation menu where it says government services, community, etc., under services, there's a 2025 infrastructure project section, and you click on there, and the Snyder Ave sidewalk project does have its own page, and we do have the plans there. And this page will be updated with project information as we go, including this presentation after this PIC is over.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh, perfect. I've been having problems with my microphone on Zoom. Can you detail what the enhancements on Snyder Avenue itself are going to be? I thought there would be diagrams of the location of the crosswalk, the location of the new sidewalks,
Yeah, and
any kind of details like that?
Yeah, of course. I actually have the plans open so I can kind of walk you through them
Is there
exactly.
any way, can you make that bigger, Mike? I
Oh,
like
is it small?
there's some sort of like presenter view or something. I don't know. I never know how to use.
Oh, okay. One sec.
You-
Let me change up my sharing in a quick second.
It's not major, but
the equivalent of slideshow in PowerPoint.
right. Oh yeah, yeah.
Try this. Okay, so do you guys see the plans? Or no?
Yeah, we can see them.
Perfect. So I'll just kind of quickly walk you through the plan step by step as we go. Pretty much we start right at Willicus Avenue and Snyder Avenue intersection. Will be kind of these ramps were deemed compliant ADA ramps, so we were planning on the plans to leave them. And kind of just I believe the sidewalk ends right here. Currently, this is where the kids kind of across Snyder Avenue have to go up. So the plan is kind of put new sidewalk along the shoulder. This is the the EMS building.
Rescue squad.
Yeah, the rescue squad. Sorry. Do a new concrete apron over there. Continue the sidewalk. Where you'll see kind of littered. There's these little walls. They're not super tall or anything. Just to make sure that we're complying with grading standards. Not having too steep areas. Kind of continue along, and then we'll get to the exit driveway for the school. Handicap ramps. This one is. You want to be boring. This is a called type NJDOT type 4 ramp. I believe they're both type 4s. Yeah. Ramps across the driveway, the exit driveway of the school. Receiving ramp. Continuation. Retaining wall where needed. And kind of just continue up. This is along the frontage of this huge school. And then this is the entrance driveway for the Hughes School, the big loop. New curb ramp here for both receiving this ramp as well as over here. This will be
So, Michael, can you just
yeah.
Can you talk about that curve where your cursor is? It's got the that rubber mat that's got bumps. But it's facing kitty corner to the street instead of either of the sidewalks.
So that's just
or
when you're
either of the crosswalks. So can you explain the placement and angle and why that compliant ramp doesn't seem to be leading to a crosswalk?
So pretty much since it's receiving two ramps at the end of the day, and there would not be enough space to put two separate receiving areas and then kind of come up and go back down. So this is the ramp that the DOT recommends to put in, which is a ramp 7, and it's a way to kind of receive both this area, this ramp, and this ramp down here, which would be off Harrison Drive.
But do you see what I'm saying? That ramp, if somebody were visually impaired, they would be walking into the street, not onto a crosswalk.
So they would, yeah.
Where that ramp is placed, you would
Yeah.
walk forward from the ramp, and that's taking you into the intersection, not to the crosswalk, not towards the ramp in the other direction, in either direction. So that was a question that I had when I reviewed the plans.
Well, I mean, so one, besides kind of what I just stated, where there wouldn't be enough space to have two receiving areas for each of the ramps. Really a big challenge in this area with I'm assuming everyone's pretty familiar with there. It's very steep to get up this hill, and pretty much if we were to do, as you said, maybe even try to like tuck it up here, the to make the ramp compliant without you would pretty much have to chase this all the way up probably to the school, the grade. So I was kind of worked with DOT, and this is at the end of the day what they kind of recommended us to move forward with. So
You know, where's the, what seems to be not shown here is the existing crosswalk that goes across Snyder, or is that,
it starts right here. Yeah.
oh, that's the gray lines?
Yeah. These gray lines. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's just hard to know because you don't see it going across the way.
Yeah. I was just kind of the where the survey was kind of cut off since we don't. It would have been a little excessive to have them show the all the roadway when we're not really touching the roadway much in this project as it's
Oh, okay,
not
good. I
not
got
this
Okay,
you.
so where's the curb cut on that?
right
Because
here.
the crosswalk is a
Yeah.
little wonky. So where those broken lines of the crosswalk are, and there's those two lines next to it.
Well,
What is that? It says block curb. So does the crosswalk actually go into a curb? Keep going
So
with
this
your
would
cursor
this
on the other side of the ramp.
yeah.
No,
But
the other
this
side of the ramp.
over here.
Yes. What's happening there?
So they're walking here, and their curb will suck through the press here, and then the formal depression will be here.
Okay, so the top side of that curb, the
Yeah.
top side of that crosswalk
Yeah.
actually ends at a curb instead of an ADA compliant ramp.
the top line, yes.
The top line. Top line. Nope. Top line.
Which one? Top on this one.
No, of the
No, the
crosswalk.
crosswalk.
Yeah.
We got the horizontal lines and the vertical
Yep.
lines to indicate the crosswalk, and the
Yeah,
top
this one.
line,
Yeah.
that's the
That one.
curb,
Yeah. This.
right? Yeah, and she asked, is that hitting a curb? We think yes.
Yeah, it does have a curb. Yeah.
Now, I'll add what I notice is that it looks like to the right of the new cutout that's at grade is
Yeah.
the right is the original pad. I guess that's the original.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, and it looks like the solution here, because of those issues with the gradient, is to extend the sidewalk, I guess, into the street and connect with the other sidewalk. Because I see that's
It's-
what, because you've got the diagonal line going from the lower horizontal line of the sidewalk going down to right there. Yes.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, so pretty much this is the turning space when you come down, and then pretty much you would, if you want to continue, you would go up this way down Snyder Avenue, or you can cross Snyder Avenue here.
So is there sufficient space without a raised curb for a stroller or wheelchair to come down that ramp and continue across the new cross or the crosswalk there, or across the street in the other direction. So that little space where the DC is, you've got that space is allocating that basically wonky curve. So if I'm coming on the new sidewalk, I cross this crosswalk and I want to continue with, you know, a stroller or a wheelchair, where do I go? And is there sufficient protected space in that crosswalk for me to use that ramp?
Yeah, can I jump in, Councilman? It's Tom Sofaro. How are you? Sorry, I
Hey,
got
Tom.
into the
you?
meeting. I got into the meeting late, so Mike kicked it off. So I appreciate it. So yeah, so the corner that you're referencing, that's a combo ramp, like Mike was saying. So it takes it across the entrance drive, and then obviously takes it across Snyder Avenue. So due to some tight restrictions and curbing and some other utilities that may be in that area, so it's a combo ramp. So that ramp can receive from two directions or exit from two directions. So where the DC is in the road, which is married up from the depressed curb to the edge stripe. Mike, if you can just kind of circle that real quick over there. Yeah. There should be ample enough space in there to turn, whether it's a wheelchair or a stroller, but we will double check that to make sure it complies with DOT standards. But that is the intention.
And we do it with an electric scooter.
Or less, correct. Understood. Yep. The means of travel.
Yeah,
I understand. Yep.
Tom,
But
it just it doesn't seem like there's that much space there.
Mike, can you, I can't, Mike, can you tell us what that offset distance is right there?
This should be
Yeah.
this is 4 feet by 4 feet.
Yeah, which
This
is kind of what I
box.
thought. Yeah, it should be
Yes.
4x4, but we will double check, Councilwoman, to make sure that it complies with the state standard. DOT allows it with their crosswalk design, but we will double check it.
Yeah.
Mike, is there any way we can actually maybe add a second detectable in there, or maybe even a half a detectable, or there's not enough room?
So yeah, this was kind of extensive design. We were going back and forth. At the end of the day, there really is not enough room without the
Not even no, but what I'm saying is right next to where the proposed AD is now.
Yeah.
On a design, can we add another half a pad or no?
Really here, like this way,
on the
or
other
this-
side?
this
Yes,
way?
right there.
we could. I just the more we go, is the more we're gonna have to chase the grade back.
No, I
if we
understand.
want to be compliant. So
Yep.
if not,
So
we'd have-
yeah, why don't we, and not to cut you off, I apologize. So why don't we try to see if we can add, stretch the ADA detectable a little more, and how much we need to chase up the street just to kind of keep the depressed a little longer than just short for, just 4 feet in the front. Maybe we can make it up to 6 feet, and that kind of gives us a little more inline traffic going in and out of the ramp. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I know what you're saying.
So we can definitely take a look at that.
Yeah, I'll take a look at that.
And we'll just double confirm the offset distance from the curb line or depressed curb to where the where that stripe belongs. Okay.
Right. And will any trees be removed during this?
I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe in the estimate or the plans there's about 2 or 3.
And then those will be replaced
Yeah.
on the school property, I assume?
Yes,
Yeah.
we would work with the Board of Ed and or other properties that are along the frontage over there where a tree may come out or a tree may have to go back in. So yes.
Okay.
I think my mostly is actually on there's one tree removal up kind of this. I have to jump ahead, but yeah, this is up Snyder Avenue by
Across
Pine
from
Grove
Webster.
Road. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, there was this one tree where currently the path's kind of not it's a little too close to the property line, so we're to kind of put in a new path, would probably have to take this tree out. We're gonna have to take a tree out there and then skip ahead, but then yeah, this is Old Cannon Road. I believe there's this tree and this tree. They're a little too big and they're causing tripping hazards on the sidewalk, so they're gonna have to take it out.
There's actually sidewalk work planned on Old Cannon Road?
Yeah, very minimal. It's just really where tripping hazards were observed, and then upgrading of these handicap ramps to be compliant.
Okay, yeah, I understand the need. I've been there, but didn't know
Yeah,
that.
it's kind of replace as needed, Steve. I mean, obviously
Yeah,
there's some tripping areas. Obviously you're aware of it because you travel it often. So we definitely want to minimize that and put in conforming sidewalk with slope and get rid of the hazards, of course. So
yeah, there had been further toward mountain from this picture. There was some repair to some really gnarly lifted locks. So
yes, agreed.
Yeah,
I mean, the job itself is pretty simple and straightforward. Like I said, I'm sorry I jumped in late, so I'm sure Mike went over most of it, but it's concrete sidewalk, asphalt sidewalk, going through the easement off Coachman down towards the back of the school. There are some tree removals, tree replacements. There's a retaining wall just to tie back in the slope in front of the school. New ADA ramps, striping, all the basic pedestrian safety type improvements for such a project. So.
Hey,
So the Girl Scouts had done a project to improve plantings along that trail. Is that going to be disturbed by this new project?
So that plan, has it been implemented? Has it already been installed, or it's to be installed with the Girl Scouts?
Liza, do you know? Liza, you're on mute.
Sorry, I have too many windows open. Yes, they did that very quickly, that project. So if you go up there, it's well off the path. I believe they specifically did their project well off the path because we told them we didn't want to disturb it with any of the equipment that might have to go in there
Yeah.
when we improve the path. So there's plenty of room in there. And
Right.
it is also only on one side, what they did.
Yeah, and obviously the intention is to minimize any type of disturbance, but obviously if there's some voluntary work that was done back through there, we'll make sure. Even Mike, maybe we can head back out before we go out to bid and just kind of maybe mark it on the plans and just put a note on the plans to contractors to stand clear and to protect as needed that
Yes,
area.
do not touch the Girl Scout project.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
or you won't get any cookies. I have a follow-up question. After seeing hearing the initial presentation and seeing the diagram, that stretch between the school and Pine Grove itself, which is currently asphalt and is in recent years has been redone, so it was improved in the last, I'll say, 5 or more years. Is that going to be converted? I just want to remember what was said. Is that going to be converted to?
it's gonna be converted to concrete sidewalk.
Yeah, so everything on Snyder Avenue will be concrete. The only asphalt improvement would be really the walkway off of Coachman, off the cul-de-sac, heading back down towards the back of the school. That would be asphalt.
Yeah, because it's all that way now. Yeah,
Correct. Yep.
yeah, or what's left of asphalt.
Exactly.
Very good. Hey, Liza, what was that? What was that main menu section that the
Oh, yes. Okay. So if you're on the homepage right now.
yeah,
Okay. Just hover over services.
services. Okay.
And then under the gray bottom right part of the bar, 2025 infrastructure projects.
Yeah, I just needed to know services without having to look at everything. Thank you.
Yep, no problem. Anybody else have any questions?
Liza, were there any questions submitted to Angela before the presentation tonight?
Thank you. Yes, one. I have like a lot of windows open. Hold on one second. Let me get it, please. Yes, so just for people in the audience, as part of this public information center, we're supposed to go over changes, questions even that people wrote in. So here is one of the questions. Okay, good evening. Thank you for sending this information. Much appreciated. Unfortunately, the link for more information is not working. That has been fixed, but I'm required to read this whole thing. On a different note, I love the idea of sidewalk improvement. That said, will scooters, bikes be permitted on the sidewalk? That is a big concern if they are to be permitted. Tom, I can
Yeah.
speak
So
to
is
this.
yeah.
Go,
If
are
you
you,
don't mind.
go
So
ahead.
that's okay. No. So was the question? Are they asking if they're restricted or
No,
they're
they're
allowed?
asking if scooters are going to be allowed on the sidewalk.
I see. So, I mean, I know a little bit of, maybe you can jump on or supplement what I need to say, but I know the administration and the police department were revealing, you know, situations or areas like this in other parts of town. So I guess where it makes sense from a safety perspective, you know, they would be allowed. There might be in other parts of town or other access ways where they might be restricted, but obviously that's a work in progress. There's nothing set in stone at the moment, but
Right,
that's
correct.
yeah, that's something that I know that PD and the administration, and I know eventually I was going to get looped into that to
Mhm.
review some safety aspects of it, and then we'll make a determination of how we might want to present an ordinance for adoption or acceptance or not. So
Yes. There's
The
not
key
going to be a blanket ban on sidewalks in town. And some places such as Mountain Ave, like there's um no shoulder. So it's very
yeah, I
unsafe
mean,
especially for the
yeah,
younger kids. So it's going to be it's not going to be a one and done type of decision. It might be different for different parts of town.
and all
yeah, I
that
mean, I guess
means,
each location would be site specific, right? I'm sorry, Steve, if I cut you off. I apologize.
that's fine. I was going to say that's sounding like the discussions that have happened. I mean, the key thing to talk about here and now, there is no ordinance in this town for disallowing um, bicycles and e-mobility devices on sidewalks. Anything to be done in the context just spoken would have to happen in the future.
Correct.
That is correct. I mean, I know in some of the Union County parks, and that may be present in the new Springfield Avenue Park. I guess when that gets fully functional. But I know the county has been a strong supporter in trying to minimizing some of that use, and so they have ordinances and have signs, you know, posted out their facilities. But obviously, with the town is we're not there just yet. If that's the direction the town chooses to take,
So keeping this on sidewalks, will there be public information available about the other sidewalk projects that are going on? The one that goes from, I guess, Upper Snyder Avenue from the park shopping center to the park with the new crosswalk. I understand that that's not part of this presentation, and also the Springfield Avenue sidewalks.
yes, there definitely will be an update. So we can talk about Springfield if you like to. Obviously, we don't have presentation details on that, but that job is bids just came in the other day. I believe it came in on Friday, and that included brick paver sidewalks and depressed curbs, aprons, driveway repairs, aesthetic lights, basically from River Road all the way to Plainfield Avenue, both sides of the street. So that job just came in. That's also a DOT funded project. So we're reviewing the bids. We'll offer a recommendation to the governing body for review and consideration, and subject to the availability of funds. So that's where that project stands. And then the other project you were referencing, you're talking about across from Snyder Park on Snyder?
Correct.
Or are you talking about at the top from Mountain Avenue down on the park side?
Piece from essentially the Bank of America to Snyder Park.
Okay, so
is that
yes.
part of this grant or project, or is that a different one?
No, great question. It's not part of this grant,
Okay.
but what we did was we did put an alternate bid into this project, assuming or hoping that DOT approves it just as a continuation. Since it's contiguous to this project, they will just allow it with this contractor to do that work. But we do have plans to put in a sidewalk on the Bank of America side of Snyder, from there going across the what's it called? The chemical plant.
Chemtrade?
Yes,
Or Aurorium?
Yeah, whatever the new. I go by Chemtrade, but across the frontage of Chemtrade over there to get to Snyder Park. So there is a sidewalk provision. I don't, Mike, do you remember the linear footage roughly what that was? But it was to put sidewalk on the opposite side of
Yeah.
Snyder to get to the park and connect to downtown. So that was an alternate bid in this project, though it wasn't part of the grant.
Yeah, there was approximately about 280 square yards of concrete sidewalk, which is to handle with.
Yeah, just what's the linear footage?
Okay.
Correct. And then depending on how much the bids came in, we would figure out where we might be able to pull
It's 600 feet around, Tom.
Okay.
the money from to fund it, which
Correct. The intention was to try to put into this project, obviously, to get a better bang for the buck when we have additional quantities or larger quantities. Usually your unit price goes down, and that's kind of what we were hoping for. So we'll see where those numbers come in.
Yeah, I'm going to add it sounds like from the way that was described, well, it's great to hear it was part of this bid. But it sounds like they'll, on the southbound side of Snyder from the, the exit of the bank, there'll be a new sidewalk up to, a Snyder Park entrance. That's what we were just talking about.
I believe it goes. Mike, can you just pull out that
lower
Yeah.
down
plan?
where Ferndale hits Snyder, Steve?
Yeah,
I
correct.
think,
Correct.
I think it's Ferndale, it's Snyder,
Because what's been happening
and then there's crosswalk across.
is the kids, when they go from Columbia or wherever they're coming from, Stop and Shop, wherever, to go to Snyder, they don't go up to the crosswalk at the Springfield and Snyder. They cross right near that Bank of America
Right.
or the
Yeah.
remnants of a sidewalk or path that used to be there that goes along the fence chemtrade there. And then they just cross. So knowing that they're
Right.
doing that, we're like, all right, let's at least make it safer and more noticeable for people driving so that they're more aware to slow down even more than they should be slowing down in that area, because that's a frequent crossing for people. And there's more people now, who have moved into the downtown in the apartments and condominiums,
Sure.
at the end of Lone Pine, and they're walking to Snyder also. So what started as a project mainly to be safer for the kids crossing now has turned into something for, increased number of pedestrians overall trying to access Snyder Park.
Hi.
100%.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
This is Alicia. Sorry, I was having issues with my microphone, which is why I kept bouncing back and forth. But Alicia Myers, I'm at 128 Klein Boulevard. So I'm very happy to see this project happening. And two thoughts. First, since you're talking about, I missed the end part about the sidewalk connecting the downtown to Snyder. Is there going to be a new crosswalk there? Because if you're pulling the sidewalk down on the side of the, I guess, the chemical
Yes,
plant,
the
how
crosswalk
are
would
the
go
kids
right where Ferndale meets. Yes, correct.
Correct. Yeah.
Mike, can you just pull that plan up
Yeah.
so people can see it?
Liza, I've actually been emailing you for like 4 years about this. I don't know if you remember.
Yes. So yes, we're.
Yes.
I was wondering if you were the same, Alicia.
Yes, I'm happy to hear this because I haven't gotten a response from you in some time, unfortunately. But so I was curious, are you looking at the speed limit at all too? That might have been when I just left the conversation.
That's not, and
No, the speed limit
involved in this.
analysis and review is not part of this project nor grant.
But is it part of the town's work? Because I was told that a traffic study was going on here, and the speed actually goes higher as you're going into town, which doesn't make sense with all the children that walk in this area. I don't know if you guys are evaluating that.
That evaluation
Sure.
is not current at this point in time. I know the administration and myself were aware of the potential concern, but that study is on the back burner at this minute.
And then I can't tell, is there an RRFB going in at this crosswalk, like the flashing beacons?
Yeah, there'll be two flashing beacons, one on each approach for the crosswalk.
Okay.
So here,
And then okay, that's great. And what was the timing you said that is going to go in as kind of part of this the Snyder Ave at the northern end? I'm sorry, at the southern end. And if the funding's up there, you'll be able to put this in. So probably
Yes.
2026.
Yeah, we're shooting for the spring of 26. I mean, right now the DOT still needs to approve us to go out for a bid. That's one of the requirements of the grant, as is this public participation hearing that we're having right now. Obviously, we need to. This meeting's being recorded. We have to take attendance, and everything needs to be sent down to the state. They'll review it, and they'll concur. Hopefully, that we did it, within their guidelines and policies and procedures. They'll do one check of the plans, and hopefully they say, "Hey, Berkeley Heights, go out for a public bid. You're ready to go." And then with that being said, since unfortunately we're ready in November, this job probably won't kick off construction-wise until sometime the spring of 26.
Okay. And then I'm really happy to hear about all of this. What about the striping on Snyder in this area? So you made some changes in front of the school where there's a wider shoulder, but what I've also been saying for 4 years is that we could add a wide shoulder, and that would actually help slow people down and then allow for people in bikes to ride safely in the shoulder too, especially in front of the park. Is that something that you guys, if you haven't already, can consider as part of this?
Yeah,
You don't have
yeah.
to
So
pave the road to put that in.
no, you're correct. But that comment and concern has been put through the police department in my office, and we will definitely take another look and reconsider trying to how we can, I don't want to say lane restrict, but I guess promote some other means of transportation also with a bike lane or something along that on that edge. I don't have the exact dimensions right now off the top of my head how wide that road is. So, but I know that was something that was to be considered, moving forward to see how if that actually can take place and be effectuated. So.
I think there's definitely room to just stripe the shoulder. So the
Mhm.
lane, the width of the lane, there's no striped shoulder in that section. It looks like when work was done to the north, I'm sorry, I keep saying the north, to the south of the railroad tracks, there was a shoulder put in there. And so instead, to the north of the railroad tracks, there's just wide lanes where, especially with all the kids on scooters now too, and bikes right in front of that park. I think it would be very helpful if you guys could stripe. I understand the paving isn't part of this, but if you can stripe the wide shoulders, that would be very helpful all the way to downtown. So just
No,
something, hopefully you
yeah,
can
we can
put into this.
noted, and I appreciate your comments, and we'll definitely take a look at it and see what, if anything, can happen.
So Liza and Tom, that's something that we noted on the Complete Streets Committee.
Mhm.
Just in the background notes that the road striping on Snyder is inconsistent where there are white lines designating the shoulder and then they just disappear. In some cases they've been worn off, and in other cases they just weren't ever there. So making those consistent would make it way safer for bikes in the roadway than the situation today. But that's not, these projects, I guess that has to be done with the road paving. Is that true, Liza?
I think it could be included with this. I'm actually a traffic engineer, so I think it could be included with this grant if it's just striping and not paving, because you're
Yeah,
striping crosswalks already.
yeah, we can, very observant. We can definitely look into that and see if we can add it in as an additional scope of work. Obviously it's not a heavy financial lift to the project, but we'll definitely take a look at it. We'll sit down with the police department over the next couple of weeks. We'll talk to the traffic division, and we'll see if we can come up with something.
Yeah, I think that would go a long way. It's doesn't, like you said, doesn't cost that much money, and I think that I started emailing the town before my daughter was even at Hughes. So she was at Woodruff in like second grade, and she's now in middle school. And so, and now my other daughter's in second grade and they go to Snyder all the time. So I started emailing just because I saw other kids in this unsafe area going to this park. And now my daughter's in middle school and is always walking in this area and now biking from our neighborhood to Snyder. So I think having a striped shoulder on this road in front of the park where like the majority of the kids are going and riding their bikes would be extremely helpful. I'm so glad to see the sidewalking connection because as of now the kids just run across the street. So at least there'll be some defined area, but I think the striping is something that should be part of this. And I know the speed limit is not part of this, but the town should really look at it because it's not consistent. You're going from let's say Dunkin' Donuts to Snyder, and all of us, I don't know why the speed limit goes up in that area. So I know it's not part of this project, but you said that you'd be talking to the police about it. So I think that'd be really helpful.
But
We will definitely do that.
The answer is I've been in this town for 40 years. It's the original speed limit.
Yeah, of course. It's
So,
there
so
from the
others were changed in between. They had their own issues. That is actually a can of worms for the town. I'm a traffic engineer
right.
too.
Yeah, so I think that could be looked at. And then just on the back of the conversation that the other woman on the call mentioned about that curb ramp up by Snyder, has DOT reviewed that? Because I don't think you can't have that like 4x4 area outside of the curb in the
They,
road.
they
So
have reviewed it. They have reviewed it, and they had no issue with it. Then we had some other design considerations that we needed to have addressed. But
it,
like I said earlier, maybe your mic was not functioning, or maybe your speaker wasn't working. But we're going to look into it to see how we can kind of reconfigure that to make it a little more pleasing.
I think another solution is to widen the crosswalk across Snyder. Again, you're not showing that crosswalk, but you have to have the 4x4 area wholly within the crosswalk. So for those crossing, it would help the visibility of that crosswalk too if you widened it. So I know that's not part of that project because you weren't really showing it fully, but that might be a solution too to help with that design there.
Yep, I appreciate the thought.
That's all I have. Thank you.
No, thank you.
Anybody else have any questions?
I just want to say thank you to Tom and Michael for all of the work that's been done to bring this to fruition, and Liza, of course. We couldn't do it without you.
Hey, Councilwoman, appreciate it's a team effort with the whole administration and all the department heads and the design team. So it's good. It's a good thing going in this town. So we appreciate it.
Yes.
So thank you.
Thank you everybody for your patience. You know, we love our grants, but the federal ones especially take significantly longer, which is okay. It's still money that's going to be well spent, but we just yeah, they take quite a bit longer than some of the others. So thank you for your patience. We are just as excited for this to start as you are.
100%. Trust me, we've been waiting many months to try to get this thing out to bid, and we're hoping this is, hopefully we're seeing the finish line and the fruits of everyone's labor to get this thing out as soon as possible.
Yes. So. We'll have a little party when this and Sherman Ave start, which is supposedly this week. So the DOT is requiring us to keep this Zoom open for an hour and a half. So that's until 7:30. So if you guys don't have any questions, thank you so much. You can feel free to hop off. We just have to keep it open in case somebody couldn't join until late and they have a question that we'd like to answer for them.
Thank you. I'm going to head off then. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your time.
Bye.
Thank you.
Boy, this will end. I'll have to go to the Environmental Commission.
I think it did already, right? Didn't it, Tom?
Did this project go to the Environmental Commission? We've had conversations with Tom Bacco and Rich Leister. I mean,
yeah.
I don't want to.
It was like 2 years ago at this point.
Yeah, and I don't want to minimize it, but the disturbance really is only 2 or 3 trees, but which will be replaced to their satisfaction.
Correct.
Yeah, that was reported earlier. Yeah, I'm just referencing meetings I'm going to.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Not a problem. Not a problem with them. And Tom, thanks for adding this discussion about this part of Snyder we're just talking about, because that was on my list of questions to ask you, because it was a separate I guess design.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, to your point, Steve, it wasn't part of the original grant application, so it was kind of tricky how we wanted to present it within the project scope, because it's not technically going to be reimbursed. But we thought it was necessary to add it as a continuing the extension and the connectivity in that area, from the downtown, to the park, and heading back up towards Mountain Avenue. So we put it in as an alternate bid. Again, subject to the funds available. Hopefully, we can effectuate that improvement, with this project. So we know it's very important. So.
Well, you've got the design, and that's always the starting point. So
Yeah.
it's money is always the determinant of when you can go ahead. But yeah, I know it's been on the list of projects for you all to look at that were, part of a resolution, the council passed. So it's
Yes. Mhm.
so at least there's something to show for you did the part that you can do that involves design, and it's like the construction. That's again depending on the money, and hopefully
Correct. Yep.
sooner than later.
Fingers crossed sooner.
Oh, Mike, when you get a second, could you just send me that presentation and I'll put it up on the Snyder app
Yeah, I'll do that.
site? Thanks. All right, Mike, I'm just gonna turn my video off. I'll put something in the chat just saying we're here. If anybody joins after 6:57, we'll take your questions.
Good. I'll do the same.
Thank you.
Thank you.